Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. I am now today in Morioka, and I have found 5 things that I've put a pin on my map of where I want to go. These 5 things are all quite local and central to the station, so even if you're just passing by on the Shinkansen, you could get out for a few hours and have a look at Morioka. Let's come and have a look. Fresh arrived in Morioka, and right there stands a mountain which looks like it's going to be cool. It's currently covered in clouds, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. The all-important first stop on the list is the family, and the all-important first stop on the list is Lawson's to get some chicken. It's not really relevant to Morioka, I just wanted some chicken. The first place on my list is right here on this bridge, because in the background, when I turn my head, I should be able to see Mount Iwate. And I can. This mountain is named after the prefecture. I did see this last night, and sadly it was still just as cloud shrouded. I'm here tomorrow. I'm hoping to see it without it. It's quite an impressive thing to just tower over the entire city. One trip across the bridge takes us to our next place, straight into the downtown area. It's not quite the perfect time of day to absorb the downtown experience, but it's on the way to our next destination, and I was happy to see Raszero Boy. So now that we've been there, straight ahead is where we're going. And right at the end of the downtown area, I just stumbled upon this little natural beauty area, and I looked up what it is. And this is natural spring water right here, right next to a busy crossing and a bank and all these things. And there's a nice little area to relax. I'm going to sit for a few minutes before we continue. Interesting that while most of the streets are clear of snow, this one area looks like it's where I've been the last few weeks. And after that very brief temple visit, we enter the Morioka Castle Park and Castle Ruins. And already this looks like another world again. Whereas the cityscape is almost devoid of snow, the park has been left uncleaned and untouched. And it feels like I've gone back in time a few days. And I think notably, this is actually one of the first muddy roads I've seen in Japan. And it feels like it would be cleaner to walk along the snow for once. Now I think you'll find a lot of Japanese castles do get continuously destroyed and rebuilt, and this is a cycle, because they're often made out of wood, and lightning strikes are pretty harmful to that. But this one was just left, and in the 1900s turned into a park. So while there isn't a castle up here, there is a view to reward you. While Mount Iwate itself is hidden behind buildings and trees and clouds, if you turn a little bit, you can just see that Morioka is almost entirely surrounded by mountains, as many places in Japan will be, and that makes for quite a beautiful sight. Although, if we cross one bridge and explore a new part of the park, and right here, despite the rest of the city, you can go quite deep in snow. And while I did say you can't see the mountain from this park, actually, there is one part where there is nothing in the way. And you can get a look if it wasn't for the clouds completely blocking it. But still, this park is very nice. Especially with all the snow, compared to the rest of the city that you can look down on that is relatively free of it, other than in mounds. I do have to watch where I'm stepping with the snow though, because there's something like this above ground, and I assume there's not one there, but I'm not going to find out. having finished with the park, the next two destinations are to the north of the city. So we're taking a little walk that way to see what we can find. And behind me stands the place I've come for. It's just right outside of a building, but it is a cherry blossom sakura tree growing out of granite. This is the Ishiwari Zakura, and it's one of the most famous symbols in Morioka. And it is quite impressive. Obviously, during the winter season, not as impressive because there isn't the sakura blossoms, but still cool to see a tree just growing here apparently. And as I make my way to one of my final destinations of the day, I'm not going to lie, it's already closed. I set off for this trip after a nice morning lie-in, relaxing on my laptop. But I still want to look outside it anyway. So it's only a 15-minute walk, and it looks like this. Although the doors appear to be open. So let us see if Google was wrong for once. And it is so intricately carved at every single stage. What's on the inside? So it appears Google was not wrong. The seeing time is between 9 and 4, which I have missed. So that does mean I won't be able to go inside. But hey, I will never get used to the fact that in Japan things close at 4. Some things close at 5, some things close at 4, some things close at 10. There's no way of knowing other than looking it up before you go, which is what I really should do, but I never do. So this place closes at 4. Bear that in mind. I will never bear it in mind for as long as I'm in Japan. It's just never gonna be a thing. But all hope is not lost. For you see, when you go somewhere and then you look on Google, then it's going to point out places that are near you and they're going to flash up bigger. And I've just seen a sign for an observatory 15 minutes from here that looks like it might have quite a nice view. So, off we go. Secret extra 6 thing to do here before the food. As well as this sign when I leave, which looks very ominous. And after a 15-minute climb, here it is, the observation deck, which is quite a thing to observe in itself. It's a unique design. What we really want to do is see what we can observe from the observation deck. Are you ready? Let's look in 3, 2, 1. I saw that for you. Wow. Just a short walk from our previous destination and we get treated to a lovely, lovely mountainscape. We can see so far into that horizon and the other mountains that lay beyond. Now, while Mount Iwate itself is facing this way towards the clouds, it doesn't mean that what we're seeing here, it's amazing. A lot of the places I've visited recently have been by the seaside, but Morioka, I've gone inland, and this entire city is surrounded by mountains, other than this direction from the looks of it, because there's just city as far as you can see. But every other way, mountains. And that is something that feels very unique to Japan. Having lived in England, sure, we've got the Lake District, but most places you're looking around and it's going to be flat. But here, we can see the world. Well, this small part of it. And even among the view, I can't help but notice that someone has left their umbrella. And while the view is lovely, getting down this slope was not. Probably see a big old bum imprint there. I wonder who left that. And you know, although you can't see Mount Iwate from the observation deck, you can see it from the car park if there isn't clouds, but so you know when you come. And as for the hotel in Morioka, it is much the same as anywhere else. It was a little bit more expensive just because, I don't know, because Morioka needs to get another pillow yet again. Bed seems fine. We have ourselves a fridge, a desk, a kettle, all the standard stuff. Bathroom is again about as standard as you get. The bath looks about as small as you expect. But I am on the 6th floor, so do I get a view? Oh, well, I can see the Sports Entertainment Centre. Nice. And I mean, there's a little bit of mountain between some buildings, so. What am I doing? Well, I'm going to try a Japanese dish I've not tried yet. Shabu shabu, which is basically dunking meat in some broth from the looks of it, and having a lovely walk along the river to get there. This was another all-you-can-eat deal, so it was basically just order as much as you can and enjoy.